April Windsor's shocking new romance in Emmerdale revealed. Love is about to shake up Emmerdale in ways nobody expected. Are fans truly ready for this twist? The beloved April Windsor is about to find herself at the center of a surprising new romance storyline. And if you've been following her journey, you know this could spark some strong opinions. But here's where it gets controversial. Her new love interest is none other than Dylan Penders, a character with a seriously complicated history. Let's rewind for anyone who might have missed the drama that led us here. Over the past few months on the ITV series, April, portrayed by Amelia Flanagan, has endured heartbreak and upheaval. Remember at the end of last year when, after a heated argument with her father Mark Charnock, April made the drastic decision to run away from home? That wasn't just a fleeting escape. She vanished, sending shockwaves through her tight-knit community. During her time on the streets, April's world collided with that of Dylan Penders, Fred Kettle, and his friend Becca Ashton. This unlikely trio formed a bond out of necessity and genuine care, especially after Dylan and Becca learned April was pregnant. It's moments like these that break stereotypes about who we consider to be a good influence, isn't it? But the story turned tragic. Becca lost her life after being stabbed while trying to recover stolen money. To compound April's grief, she later endured a heartbreaking stillbirth in a lonely public restroom. A moment raw with emotion that left viewers devastated. Against the odds, April eventually returned to the safety of Emmerdale, determined to rebuild some semblance of her old life. But just as things started to settle, Dylan reappeared, seeking redemption and a fresh start. Battle-use spice addiction, Dylan's life was anything but straightforward. April's father, Marlon, desperate to protect his daughter, took things too far, planting drugs on Dylan to push him out of April's world. But, and this is the part most people miss, good intentions often backfire. Instead of keeping Dylan away, the move resulted in his overdose. Ironically, it was Marlon who ultimately funded Dylan's rehab, adding yet another layer to their complicated dynamic. Now, as Emmerdale heads into its next week, drama is set to reach new heights. Dylan returns to the village, but trouble follows him like a shadow. When Moira and Dingles, Natalie J. Robb, hears noises in the barn, she discovers two masked teenagers, including Dylan. In the chaos that follows, Moira's son Kyle accidentally stabs Dylan in the leg with a pitchfork. Talk about unintended consequences. Moira manages to drive the teens off, but the damage is done. A short while later, April finds Dylan hiding at the graveyard, tired, wounded, but alive. She's relieved to learn that Dylan is off drugs, and the friendship they once shared quickly rekindles. This gives viewers a subtle but genuine hope. Can broken people find healing in each other? As Dylan prepares to spend the night at the cricket pavilion, he inspects his injured leg, clearly suffering from a youth fit. Yet, this setback doesn't deter April and Dylan, who soon arrange a date, hinting at a romance that's caught many fans off guard. And just as their connection begins to blossom, a new villain, Ray, Joe Absalom, storms into the narrative. With Ray's arrival, Dylan abandons his date, leaving April and audiences wondering what to happen next. Emmerdale lovers, make no mistake, this storyline is ready to fuel debate. Is April wise to let Dylan back into her life, or is her optimism dangerously naive? Can people like Dylan truly change for good, or do their past struggles always leave a shadow? Tune in to Emmerdale weeknights at 7:30 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX to see how this romance unfolds. Meanwhile, I want to hear from you. Do you think April's making the right choice, or should she steer clear of Dylan's troubled past? Am I the only one who thinks Marlon's actions crossed the line, even if his heart was in the right place? Share your thoughts, especially if you disagree, in the comments below. Dylan's dramatic return to Emmerdale. Secrets and consequences. Shock, secrets, and a pitchfork attack. Dylan's comeback to Emmerdale packs everything soap fans dream of, and then some. Ready to dive in? Because nothing about this return goes according to plan, and that's exactly why viewers won't be able to look away. Remember Dylan Penders, the city kid who struck up an unlikely friendship with April Windsor earlier this year? After a fiery confrontation with April's dad, Marlon, Dylan slipped out of the village in March. 4 long months later, he's back, camped out in the shrubbery of the Dales, hoping to pick up where he left off with April. Their reunion feels sweet and innocent at first, but here's where it gets controversial. Dylan is hiding a fresh, blood-soaked secret. While April thinks he's just passing through, Dylan has actually broken into Butler's farm. Worse still, he was caught in the act and ended up being stabbed in the leg by young Kyle Winchester's pitchfork. Picture the scene: a dimly lit barn, the startled farm boy defending his turf, and Dylan realizing far too late that crime in Emmerdale can be downright painful. The tense clip shows Kyle's terrified lunge, Dylan's scream, and Moira rushing in to shield her son. For new viewers, Butler's farm is Moira's pride and joy. Any intrusion is a personal affront, so her rage is understandable. Moira's fury doesn't stay contained. Fueled by adrenaline and maternal instinct, she lashes out at Joe Tate, convinced his family must somehow be connected to the break-in. In the chaos, she accidentally injures Lydia Dingle. Police sirens follow, and Moira is led away in handcuffs. The arrest rattles the entire Dingle clan. Kane implores Lydia to keep quiet for the sake of family unity, but Sam bristles at anyone intimidating his wife. This sets up a classic Dingle standoff: Kane versus Sam, loyalty versus conscience. Kane's ultimatum is chillingly simple. Either Sam stands with the Dingles or he sides with the Tates. No middle ground. And this is the part most people miss. Sam's choice could tilt the balance of power in the village for months. Meanwhile, another branch of the sprawling Emmerdale family tree is about to catch fire. John Sugden has discovered that his half-brother, Robert, is nursing a secret of his own. John, eager to divert attention from his own recent crimes, decides to weaponize what he knows. The freshly released teaser clip shows John sidling up to Ross Barton in the village street, casually dropping hints that Robert might be the source behind the Barton's missing drug stash. Ross, never one to pass up leverage, presses John for details. Will John spill everything? Or is he playing a deeper game? New viewers might recall that Robert and John's relationship has always been a volatile mix of rivalry and begrudging loyalty. One wrong move here could reignite a feud that once tore the Sugden household apart. If you're mapping out the week's must-see moments, mark your calendar. Emmerdale airs weeknights at 7:30 p.m. on ITV1 and streams anytime on ITVX. That means every evening delivers fresh updates on Dylan's injury, Moira's legal jeopardy, the Kane-Sam showdown, and John's dangerous secret-sharing mission. For anyone tuning in for the first time, note how Emmerdale weaves multiple plot threads at once. On one side, you have Dylan's personal spiral, an urban teen trying to go straight, but stumbling into worse trouble. On another, Moira's collision course with the law highlights the show's knack for portraying family bonds under extreme pressure. Finally, John's sly manipulation is a reminder that in this village, information is a weapon and secrets rarely stay buried. And now, a couple of questions to stir the pot. Was Kyle justified in defending Butler's farm with a pitchfork, or did things escalate too far? Should Moira be held fully accountable for Lydia's injury? Or do you sympathize with her instinct to protect your child? Is Kane right to demand absolute loyalty from Sam, or is that crossing a moral line? Finally, is John a clever survivor or a reckless schemer for dangling Robert's secret in front of Ross? Jump into the comics. Agree, disagree, or pitch your own theory. This is Emmerdale, after all. Everyone has an opinion, and every opinion could take the spark that lights the next storyline. Emmerdale spoilers. Dylan's dark secret returns to the Dales. April's shocker reunion. Imagine this. A man returns to his old stomping grounds, hiding a secret that could shatter lives. Welcome to the latest twist in Emmerdale, where Dylan's return to the Dales is anything but straightforward. Let's dive into the drama unfolding in the village. July 23rd, 2025. Emmerdale spoilers for next week reveal a shocking turn of events. Dylan is back in the village, but he's not the same man who left. He's been through rehab, but there's more to his story than meets the eye. April, his old friend from the streets, is overjoyed to see him, thinking he's finally turned his life around. But here's where it gets controversial. Dylan isn't being entirely truthful with her. April finally gets what she wants in Emmerdale spoilers. After enduring so much turmoil, April is finally finding her footing. She's thriving in her new role at Take a Vow and has no plans to return to education. But her father, Marlon, has other ideas. He's concerned that April won't go back to college unless she's given a nudge in the right direction. With April digging at her heels, Marlon turns to Belle for support, asking her to revoke April's apprenticeship. Belle finds herself in a tough spot, but ultimately sides with Marlon, believing he knows what's best for his daughter. April is devastated when Belle breaks the news, but it doesn't take her long to figure out that Marlon is behind it all. April confronts her dad, insisting that she's happiest at take a vow. This time, her words hit home, and Marlon relents, allowing her to stay. But this is the part most people miss. Marlon's actions, though well-intentioned, could be seen as overbearing. Do you think he went too far, or was he just looking out for his daughter's best interests? Share your thoughts in the comments. April reunites with Dylan. Meanwhile, across the village, Laurel thinks she spots someone lurking in the bushes. The mystery figure is Dylan, fresh from a failed robbery attempt at Butler's. Dylan and another teener were caught in one of the farm's barns. Kyle, armed with a pitchfork, scared them off, accidentally stabbing Dylan in the leg in the process. As April visits her late mother Donna's grave, she spots Dylan and invites him to talk. Dylan reveals he's off drugs, and April is thrilled to have her friend back. But there's a catch. Dylan conveniently omits the details of his recent injury. Later, as Dylan prepares to sleep at the cricket pavilion, he realizes his wound is worsening. The next day, Dylan and April plan to hang out, but their reunion is interrupted by the arrival of drug dealer Ray. Dylan, clearly spooked, runs away. What's the connection between Dylan and Ray? And will Dylan finally come clean to April about the trouble he's in? And this is the part most people miss. Dylan's actions could be seen as reckless, putting both himself and April in danger. Should April be more cautious about her friend's return, or is she right to give him the benefit of the doubt? The debate is open. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Dylan's return could have far-reaching consequences for the village. With his dark secret hanging over him, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out. And when it does, will the Dales ever be the same? Stay tuned to find out. Read more. Inside the Life of Emmerdale star Amelia Flanagan.